Moin! This video is a bit special because it touches upon a serious topic, and today the message will be for people who are currently in pain. So if you're having pain that interferes with your life and you have a suspicion that probably it's a chronic pain and probably your brain makes it up for you and makes your life more difficult, watch this video. I will share my story and I hope it will be helpful for you. I will also share how I realized that my pain was chronic and what I'm currently doing, because I'm in the process of learning how to deal with chronic pain. So, hi there, this is Anna of Northern Germany. I am a survivor, a fighter, a writer. I lived through depression, and I am also an asylum seeker in Germany, and a lot of stuff had happened in my life, and now I'm trying to share my experience, hoping that it can help someone. And yeah, as always, I have a candle to put up. Maybe today, as we're having a granny talk, let's put up a candle for our health. For my health, for your health, for the health of our loved ones. And yeah, today, as I had already said before, I'm going to talk about chronic pain. And first of all, what it is, chronic pain. It's pain. It can be in different parts of your body, but there is no specific reason, or there used to be a reason, a physical reason, why that pain was appearing in your body. But it was long ago, and pain stays, it overstays over the recovery periods, and yeah, it makes you suffer, and you don't know what to do with this. And first of all, I want to share my stories, and my story is going to be about migraines. And migraines, headaches, I learned what it was, I think, when I was, well, let's say 4, 5. I remember having headaches, like not constantly, fortunately, but my first headaches appeared very early in my life, and of course they are connected to strong emotion, and I remember them. I remember how I was walking like in this outside market, and my mother bought me a journal, my favorite journal, with a white puppy called Toshka, and I remember I had a headache. And of course, at that point, I couldn't trace like what was the trigger, but yeah, there could be many triggers. My neck isn't super healthy, and it's also long, and it tends to hurt. And at the same time, I was always an anxious person, an anxious child, person who was impressed very easily, and I absorbed everything that was going on around me. And people were not necessarily mentally stable, and yeah, hi to all Slavs and Russia, Ukraine. I don't know how it happens in Russia and also right now, but when I was little, I was in the kindergarten and it was tense there. Our carers, sometimes they could be very aggressive. I remember that I was threatened, and other people were threatened that if we don't sleep during the nap hour, they will take us in the underwear, and then we will be standing in front of the wall in the big room, and everybody will be watching. But yeah, okay, so, and also I remember vividly how once one of my carers was complaining to another carer that she was having a very bad headache. Her head was exploding. This adjective to describe. And I remember that very well, and I think it had an impact on me, like very bad impact. I enjoy writing, and also I write my articles on Medium. It's free. You can check my latest article about what made me prone to chronic pains. So check it out. I will give a link. And yeah, I like writing, and I like descriptions. I like very, very strong descriptions, adjectives for my feelings. And it's also what many chronic pain sufferers do. They describe like it very, very, very badly. Like, for example, I have my headaches, like it's drilling in my temples, or it's crushing my bones, like for back pains, or yeah, something like really, really unpleasant. And of course it triggers fear in your body and your brain, because yeah, pain is triggered. Like pain, brain wants to protect you. Pain is danger, reaction to danger. Yeah, and I think I was in the 7th grade, so I was 13, 14 when I was introduced to painkillers. And I think since that moment, I was kind of addicted. I was always predicting the moment, like what is going to trigger my headache. So my eyes are quite light, so like pale blue, and the sunshine is not very pleasant for my eyes, so it could trigger my headaches. And if I found something that helped me to avoid headaches, I became crazy about that. Like right now that yoga helps me with my neck, and when I don't do my yoga, when I skip my yoga accidentally, I'm going crazy about that. I'm in panic, like, oh my god, I'm going to have a headache or something, a migraine. Yeah. And it continued. It unfortunately became worse. And basically, headaches accompanied me at every important moment of my life. Yeah, I remember my prom, when I finished school, it was accompanied with my headache. But at the same time, the hint to how you can figure it out if it's a chronic pain, right at that time, I started to understand that as soon as I'm relaxed or I manage to forget about this headache, it fades, it disappears. And it was weird, but yeah, it was like, okay, yeah, that's just me. And yeah, I have a story of depression that I'm going to talk about later, and also anxiety, like very bad anxiety and other stuff. And yeah, so it all worked together perfectly well. My headaches, my anxiety, my depression. I adapted to the pain. I just like, okay, yeah, I'm ill. I'm ill, nobody can cure me, nobody can help me. What am I to do? What should I do? Nothing. So I just, okay, at some point I became crazy about the painkillers. As soon as I had discomfort, I took a painkiller that it didn't help, and it just like, it triggered such a chain of pain. I was basically going crazy. And then when I started my therapy, I also realized that as soon as I had my therapy sessions regularly, every week, it became better for me. I had less headaches, almost none. And as soon as there were holidays and I didn't have a therapy session, eventually I started to have headaches. And then when I came back to my therapist, and we noticed that, and it all resulted in one day when in February I went to my gynecologist. And you can also watch the video about punitive medicine, how I went to gynecologist. And eventually my pills that I used to take were changed for other pills. And I hear the phrase that, yeah, migraines, if you have migraines, they can become worse. And it definitely became worse, and it became so bad that once when I traveled to Berlin to see my friends, I vomited It was so bad I vomited. And at that point, I realized that I need to do something. Yeah, so chronic pain, how you can figure it out. As I had already mentioned, it's inconsistent. So if you manage to forget about it, it fades. And also you cannot really explain or describe in what part of body it appears. Because, yeah, it can be like wandering around your body, and also it can be different parts of your body. For example, at school, my school was very stressful. It wasn't really different like with the atmosphere from the kindergarten. And I remember I hated physical education lessons, and my knees started to hurt very badly every time before I needed to go to this lesson. And yeah, so basically body tries to protect you from these uncomfortable feelings, and the pain is real, and you understand that it's not a way out, but brain figured out that it should do this. And yeah, so the pain is inconsistent. There is also one more thing. There is possibly nothing that is noticeable. So you go to the doctor and the doctor says, no, just don't overthink it. And you feel like, yeah, your value, your emotions are not valued, and the doctor says that you're imagining pain, but no, you're not imagining pain, it's real. And yeah, so those are basic things that you can notice. And also this pain interferes with your life, and it's also connected to negative emotions, and you have really, really bad pictures, and you have fear that it will destroy your life. You will lose your job. You're catastrophizing that it will become very bad. Like you will be on the bottom of the life because of this pain. I'm laughing, but yeah, it's not funny. It's just my reaction, and yeah, I'm sorry if you're in pain. Yeah, so how I came up to a kind of a solution. First of all, my psychologist, because I love psychology. Psychology is the best. My psychologist suggested that possibly, as I have anxiety, I have these uncomfortable feelings. For example, before the trip to Berlin, every time my anxiety, my depression background wants me in bed. I don't want to go anywhere, and I just want to stay in bed, and I'm anticipating how difficult it is going to be, maybe to meet new people, and to talk and to walk a lot, because my friends are Deutsch and they like spazieren gehen, as I had already said. I don't like spazieren gehen. I like U-Bahn. I like taking subway if I need it. And yeah, so like this, my brain creates the situation that I have a terrible migraine. It's up to vomiting. And of course, nobody would touch me. Nobody would say anything to me because, like, look at her. She's miserable. And although, yeah, it's clear that it's a bad solution, but it's a solution, some kind of. And also I had the help of my friend, who is also a psychologist, not mine, but she's a psychologist, and she also has a background of chronic pains, back pains to be precise. And she went through this same process, and she figured it out through the internet and through maybe her friends. And basically she came up with two solutions. The first solution is paid, but half paid. The app is called Curable. The information, like the educational part, is free there. So if you're poor, I'm with you. And yeah, you can use the educational part. The exercises are paid, but there is also Tell Me About Your Pain podcast. I also link it. The podcast is for free, and they give examples of the exercises there. And basically, there are meditations, there are other things, but also two main exercises. I will not describe them like super deeply because I don't want to rob people from their jobs that they do very well. They spend years on discovering that, they write books. So I will just shortly describe. The first exercise, word replacement. So the solution that they suggest is try to avoid the word pain for a couple of days, and also try to replace all these horrible pictures with drilling, with cracking muscles and bones, with something more neutral, like, yeah, it's a bit of pressure. It's a bit less comfortable that I would want it to be. It's a bit, it's instead of it's burning, it's a bit not as cool as I would want to be. I want it to be. Yeah, it may sound a bit strange, but actually I think it does work because your nervous system activates immediately and your brain senses danger because, like, of course you're seeing these pictures. Imagine that, like in my case, like this drilling in my temple, like drilling, it's horrible. The second one, a bit more complicated. I was a bit skeptical at the beginning, but then I think it works also. It's called somatic tracking. It's a bit more complicated, and in my opinion, yeah, it just needs time for a person who is not a psychologist, because basically this exercise is about neutralizing your pain and observing your pain, but with neutral terms, watching how it moves, how it changes, and understanding that it's all okay. If it worsens, it's okay. If it subsides, it's also okay. And yeah, it's a bit difficult, especially when you're in pain. But yeah, I just wouldn't do that if you're like in a very, very bad pain, because yeah, escaping is also fine if you're in a very bad pain. And yeah, so why I was a bit skeptical, because I tend to overanalyze my body. Oh my god, where it hurts, where the problem is, oh my god. But yeah, when you neutralize this process, apparently it works. I used it on Monday, so passing to my results, current results. It was not easy. My anxiety was winding up, but I managed without the painkiller. On Monday, I managed without the painkiller. I tried to calm myself down, and I succeeded. So it gives hope. And I think for people who suffer from chronic pain, hope is very, very, very important. Yeah, I think I will continue trying and trying again. And yeah, here it's important to praise yourself, small achievements, and it's not like, okay, my pain is not reducing, I failed. No, it's a long journey, because I can imagine, like, for me it's very difficult. I'm an anxious person. My background in Russia, it was horrible. My nervous system is basically like a string that can be triggered, like can be pulled because of everything, because I went through school problems, then I went through family problems, through political problems, through immigration, through the second immigration from France to Germany, through Dublin, through asylum seeking, through a lot of stuff. And I'm sure you also went through a lot of things, and yeah, it's not that easy. So let's just praise small achievements. And if you have your own ways to fight chronic pain, I would be very interested to know, because I have my weird ways to fight. For example, when I was at school, I was lying in the darkness and I was listening to Jesus Christ Superstar rock opera, and till my pain subsides, and it worked somehow. And it's interesting because I think when you experience pain, you have so many ways to escape. And I'll be curious to know. And yeah, I really hope it was helpful. I really tried to organize my thoughts, and I'm also at the beginning of my journey. My friend Rofi, I think she continues this journey. I think she also has positive results. So yeah, so share a bit of hope with you. And I wish you everything well. I put a candle for you. And I also send you love, love, and peace, peace from northern Germany. Yeah, it's a bit difficult here to stay positive, but I love rain. And there are clouds today again, and you can see that I'm in a sweater. It's really cold. Spring is delayed, like trains. Maybe spring is operated by Deutsche Bahn. Peace.